So I was scrolling through Facebook Marketplace when I came across this absolute beast of a PC, all for £150. An i7 first generation, a GTX 980 Ti. After messaging the seller and collecting my new computer, I noticed some heavy thermal throttling and I couldn't keep the system cool. The original case and the Zalman FX70 just couldn't handle it. So I decided to do a whole makeover, new case, new CPU cooler, alongside a new hard drive to boot. And to round it all off, our new CPU, the Xeon W3680. A chip from the year 2009, but with its 6 cores and 12 threads, I'm sure it's going to be able to pack a punch today. With all that being said, this PC cost me a total of £230. Not too shabby when you see the benchmarks. Right, that's it from the voiceover. Enjoy the rest of the video. starting us off with The Witcher 3 at 1080p Ultra Plus settings. Using MSI Afterburner and the benchmark feature, I managed to receive an average of 40.4 frames per second with a 1% low of 35.5. I found this to be very playable, but as you can see, going through the villages, our frame rate did start to drop. Low 30s, mid 30s, which I do believe was the reason for the 1% low and bringing down that average. But overall, I found it to be a very playable experience and I had no problem progressing through the game on this setup, and I think it worked actually quite well. As for Elden Ring, it did struggle to start, and when I did get it started, I saw some big graphical glitches. I will have to try and sort them out in a next video. Dark Souls, instead, which actually ran very well. You have to excuse my poor gameplay, I'm not a very good Dark Souls player, but with an average of 59.9, basically 60 frames per second, it was incredibly playable, and I think that 1% low, I don't think I remember when it happened, but overall it was an incredibly playable game. And next on our benchmark list we have CSGO. 1080p low settings, it ran very well, giving us an average of 95.2 frames per second. Whilst this setting is absolutely fine for any casual players like me or you, for any aspiring pros, I think you will have to go for a more powerful CPU here. CSGO is an incredibly CPU dependent game, and that frame rate does often come down to how powerful your CPU is. Overall, CSGO is very playable in this setup, and I had no problem playing this deathmatch on Dust 2. Next up we have Apex Legends at 1080p medium, which ran absolutely fine. 90.5 frames per second, I had no problems. You just have to watch me miss this guy a whole lot. But overall it was a very playable experience and I quite enjoyed myself playing. This is the Battle Royale game mode and is probably the most demanding game mode on Apex Legends. And lastly we have good old Fortnite. We're on the Battle Royale game mode at 1080p high settings, render distance set to the highest, and it was very playable. 99.4 frames per second on average. I had no problems getting a few kills here and there, and it was a very competitive frame rate. The 1% lows were quite low, but that was mostly when I was in the sky dropping down. So overall, incredibly playable, and you have no problems with this setup. Thank you guys for watching, I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to see more content like this, make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.